If you suffer from cervicogenic dizziness, a dizziness disorder that's triggered by pain in the upper neck, don't try to treat your disorder by stretching your neck. The problem isn't tightness in the neck. The problem is weakness in the stabilizing muscles of the neck. My name's Mauro Burnett, physical therapist and owner of Australian Physiotherapy Specialist. Over my career of 23 years, I've been able to help thousands of patients with cervicogenic headaches and cervicogenic dizziness recover. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you why you shouldn't stretch your neck for cervicogenic dizziness and cervicogenic headaches, and I'm going to teach you 3 exercises for fast relief. Before I teach you the 3 exercises for cervicogenic dizziness, it's crucial that we understand the point of this video. Stretching is something that we employ to help disorders with hamstrings, with calf muscle tightness, etc., and that works out pretty well. But when it comes to the cervical spine or the neck, the cervical spine is way more complicated. We have discs, we have nerves, we have facet joints where one vertebra stacks on another, and we oftentimes will have an irritated nerve situation. When you're stretching and you're pulling your neck to the side, we could just as likely irritate the discs and the nerves as we could give relief. Even if I was able to stretch and get some relief, it would only be temporary. As I mentioned before, the tightness of the neck is a secondary effect to weakness and instability underneath. The way the neck kind of works in a nutshell is like this. We have outer muscles, we'll call those global muscles that move the head, powerful movers. And we have deep internal stabilizers of the neck that protect us, our discs and our joints from the strain of gravity, and they also provide fine control between one vertebra and the next. Those inside stabilizers are crucial. If you're super strong in your large muscles, but you have poor stabilizing muscles, you're going to have what I'll call cervical instability. Your vertebra could wobble when you turn right or left and can easily shift into a pinch. When it comes to the upper neck, C1, C2, and C3, if you're having repeated facet joint tightness, pain, or discomfort due to this instability, you can trigger off a host of symptoms, one of those being cervicogenic dizziness. You could have a headache that emanates from the back of the head. That's what we would call a cervicogenic headache. So cervicogenic headaches, cervicogenic dizziness, it could even cause pain or pressure behind your eye or in your sinus cavity, maybe even make your TMJ tight and sore. All of this ties in to the stability of the upper neck. So for this video, we're going to teach you stability exercises. As we re-strengthen from the inside out, that's where your neck muscles are going to start to relax. I was fortunate enough to be able to study with Dr. Gwendolyn Jewell, one of the world's best experts in neck care, and we brought up that question, what about stretching? The thought was, let's stabilize the neck first, get this good control, calm everything down, and then we're going to see a lot of this tightness go away. Once your neck's stable and your symptoms are under control, then we can potentially look at muscle tightness later. Exercise number 1, we're going to address the biggest deficit in the neck when it comes to cervicogenic dizziness. Of all the muscles deep inside your neck that malfunction in the presence of pain or discomfort, the cervical deep neck flexors, the longus colli and longus capitis, those are the names of the deep cervical neck flexors. One study showed that you can have 50 to 75% weakness in your neck flexors for a group of patients that were suffering cervicogenic headaches. So if there's weakness there, and if you've had a lot of neck pain in the past, if you've had cervical headaches, if you've had cervical dizziness, there's a really good chance you're going to be weak and deficient there. We've got to address that muscle. There's several exercises. On previous videos that we've done, we've looked at several versions, but today I'm going to teach you an easy version that you can do seated or standing. This is kind of how it works. I start neutral. I get my eyes fixed on an object, right? Maybe I'm looking at my thumb, or you could look at an object on the wall. I would recommend looking at an object on the wall and don't hold your arm up. Because holding your arm up puts strain on your neck. So I look at an object, and then I go up as far as I can comfortably, and I slowly come back down to where I started from. I start neutral, slowly go up, 1, 2, 3, and then I slowly come back, 1, 2, 3. In my mind, I envision the vertebra in my neck, C1, C2, C3, C4, right? And I kind of envision it starts to extend at C1, then C2, then C3, and then I come back, C3, C2, C1. The deep neck flexors that we just mentioned, the longus colli and longus capitis, they're going to elongate as I go up, and then they're going to shorten to come back. We call that the eccentric phase, when the muscle lengthens, and then it's going to shorten to bring back to neutral. That's the concentric phase. If you have weak deep neck flexors, you're going to notice, if you see yourself in the mirror or in a picture, you're going to hold your chin a little bit high. If your chin is high, guess what? It's going to put pressure on your C1 and C2, right? But when you sit tall and you bring your chin to level, that lifts the skull off of your sore joints and it gives relief to the upper cervical spine. So this exercise is very crucial for getting your strength back, and also it's going to teach you proper neck posture. You want your chin nice and level. You don't want to let it hang back. That's going to add more pressure to your upper cervical spine and cause more of those cervicogenic dizziness and cervicogenic headaches. Let's look at our second exercise. For our second exercise to improve strength in the cervical extensors and suboccipital muscles, here's what we could do. You find a countertop or the back of your couch, you lock your elbows out, and you kind of lean over onto the surface like you're in a standing plank position. Now, from this position, what we're going to do, we're going to lower the weight of the head. The head could be 10 or 12 pounds. We lower 1, 2, 3, going down, and then you come back up 1, 2, 3, kind of nice and steady and easy. Make sure that it doesn't cause dizziness. Make sure that it doesn't hurt the neck or cause pain. But if you can pull this off and you build up to where you could do 3 sets of 10, even just once a day, even 4 or 5 times a week, this is a fantastic exercise to start building up those suboccipital muscles that protect the upper neck and prevent stress and strain on your joints, which leads to less pain and inflammation and ultimately less dizziness and less headache. All you need is a countertop. Give it a try at home. If it feels good, do it. If it makes you feel worse, don't do it. Check out some of our other videos. We have tons of other tips on strengthening cervical extension. Now let's get into the third exercise. The third exercise is definitely one of my favorites. We're going to use a shoulder blade or scapula exercise to decrease tension in the upper traps and the very important muscle on the top of the shoulder called the levator scapulae. When we activate our lower traps, mid and lower trapezius muscle, it deactivates tension in our levator scapulae and upper trap. The levator scapulae muscle attaches into the side of C1, 2, and 3. So when your levator scapulae muscle is tight and irritated, it can easily pull on your upper neck and cause cervicogenic headaches or cervicogenic dizziness. Lie down, make sure that your neck is comfortable. That's step 1. And then what I'm going to do is kind of stretch my arms over these 2 or 3 pillows stacked up. My arm, this would be a 90-degree angle. Now my arm's aimed up, maybe like a 130-degree angle, right? So I'm kind of aiming my arm upwards. And then what I'm going to do is slowly pull my shoulder blade back and down towards the center of my back. I hold that for 5 to 10 seconds, and then I gently stretch my arm forward. Slowly bring my arm back and down towards the bottom of my scapula. I'm trying to target way back in the bottom of my scapula here. Slightly stretch forward, release the contraction, slowly slide back. I'm holding for like a 10-second count, and then the idea is we would do this 10 reps. Slide forward, rest for a few seconds, and then slide back. Make sure that the weight of your arm is passive. You're just resting on the pillows. If you're holding your arm in the air, it stresses your neck. So slide forward, rest, come back, hold for 10 seconds. For the scapula exercise, you build up to where you could do 10 or 12 reps. You could easily do this twice a day. Even 5 or 6 days a week can make a big difference. It's going to relieve that tension in the upper trap, take the pressure off the levator scapulae, and help decrease your upper neck symptoms. Well, there's our 3 tips on cervicogenic dizziness. Do me a favor, in the comments section, if you tried the exercises, drop me a comment and let me know how it worked out for you. If it gave you some relief, I'd love to hear about it. Or if you have any ideas on a future episode that we could do, love to hear about that as well. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to receive more videos like this in the future on physiotherapy related tips. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Physio Tips tomorrow.